everyone, this is Mark from Magnetic Strength and Conditioning. You may be wondering why, what, and who is Magnetic Strength and Conditioning? Sure, why does Magnetic really need another gym? Sounds like that's a gym, right? Yeah, there are other fitness facilities around, places where people can train, but there's nothing really aimed toward the young athlete. And that's what MSC is here for. I've been in and around the fitness industry for the last 15 years or so. And I'm not even including the time I spent managing a gym, which was another 3 years or so. And in that time, you can imagine I've seen a lot of things. A lot of funny, strange training ideas being employed. Some trainers who really weren't that great at what they were doing, and people doing all kinds of weird stuff. Now, that being said, of course, there are some good trainers out there, and there are people who know what they're doing, but they're not everywhere, and it's kind of a crapshoot. I've always felt that young athletes are the ones that really need the special attention. This is the time when you want them to learn the proper techniques and the right habits. Once they start training and doing things in, let's say, they're not going to necessarily be doing things terribly wrong, but once they're doing things that aren't optimal, and they keep doing it over and over and over, thinking they're doing things the right way, but they're not, that's when you start to get problems. That's when you get injuries that really could have been prevented. So I feel this is the time to intercede and make the best of things. Anyone who trains here will be trained as an athlete. So when you're doing that, the primary goal here is to develop strength, a relative strength that's functional and mostly applicable to sport, right? And when I say functional, I'm not talking about standing on a Swiss ball like the one you see back there and juggling weights or anything ridiculous like that that has no bearing whatsoever on improving an athlete. I'm talking about real strength as applies in sport. So we're working on strength primarily, power, conditioning at times, and other things that go into making a good athlete. So other qualities like agility, balance, coordination, all of these things will be addressed to varying degrees. So the goal here is to make people better athletes and more athletic. And to do that, well, you've got to be healthy and able to play your sport, right? So there's an emphasis here on using proper technique, being safe, making good exercise choices, but you also got to be doing things that are effective. You don't want to waste your time. So programming is done with these things in mind. Supervision is super important with a young athlete. So the way I do things here is small groups. I'm talking 2, 3, maybe 4 people at a time. One-on-one is great, but it's not necessarily the most cost-effective choice. Not to mention, it's not quite as much fun for especially a young athlete. When you're training in a smaller group, you're going to have a little bit more fun. There's more camaraderie, and you can't overlook that aspect of it. I think that really is important. So we're looking at training 2, 3, or 4 nights a week, or sometimes on weekends. 2 times a week is going to be really for the in-season athlete. There you're just looking to maintain, maybe work on some mobility, develop a little bit of strength, but it's not the primary goal. You're still going to be making some progress, but it won't be quite as much as you can probably accomplish in 3 to 4 sessions a week, which will be done primarily for those athletes who are off season. All of this sounds great, right? You're ready to get going? I know, I'm pretty much ready, but I'm not quite ready. So that's going to be really soon. Stay tuned, I'll let you know. I will tell you right now that the location is pretty convenient. We are located right near the heart of Manitic Village. So it's off of Mitch Owens. If you know where Bracken Field is, that's right across the street from me right now, which is also terrific because it's a good place to get some outdoor stuff done, which is always a blast. So everyone stay tuned. I thank you for paying attention here, and we will be in touch. I'll keep you posted.